Hey guys, welcome back to MATHit School. In today's video, I'm going to be solving these four quadratic equations where coefficient of x squared is equal to 3. And I'm going to be using factoring method, and I'm going to be using just 3 steps to achieve this. So you can learn these steps and apply this to any quadratic equation that you might encounter in the future that you might want to solve using the factoring method. By the end of this video, you'll be able to factor out these big looking quadratic equations faster than your math teacher. So for those of you who want to learn, let's get started. So I'm going to be solving the first one. 3x squared minus 14x minus 5 is equal to 0. Now first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 bars and put 1x and 3x. This is pretty much fixed because I'm trying to come up with two numbers that when multiplied gives me 3x squared back. And each number should have 1x. So the only option for the coefficient for these x terms is 1 and 3. Now this side of the equation is done. I'm going to work on the right side by making these two boxes underneath the third term, which is equal to -5. And I'm going to try to come up with two numbers that when multiplied gives me -5 back. -5 is the third term. And also, when I multiply 3x and the first box, put it here, and multiply 1x and the second box and put it here, they should add to give me -14x back. And -14x is this second term right here. So let's get started. Now, what are the factors for -5? It's either 1 or 5, but -1 and +5, or +1 and -5, right? So these are only pairs that could give -5 back to me. So let's try -1 and 5 first. If I multiply 3x with -1, I get -3x here. If I multiply +1x with +5, I get 5x back. If I add these together, definitely does not give me -14x back. So why don't I try +1 and -5x? That way, if I multiply 3x with 1, I get +3x. And if I multiply 1x with -5, I get -5x. Well, still does not give me -14x. So why don't I just switch numbers here? Let's put 5 first and 1 later. And let's put negative here. That way, if I multiply -5 with 3x, I get -15x here, and 1x multiplied by 1 gives me +1, and it does give me -14x back, and of course -5 times 1 does give me -5. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to group these numbers together. The first pink circle will give me x minus 5. And the second pink circle gives me 3x plus 1. And that should equal 0, meaning either x minus 5 is equal to 0 or 3x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now if x minus 5 is equal to 0, it means my x is equal to 5. And if 3x plus 1 is equal to 0, then it means my x is equal to -1/3. And there you go. Those are the answers for this problem. X is equal to -1/3 and +5. Okay, so I'm going to repeat the same steps with 3 more problems. So let's go. All right, I have 3x squared, so without even thinking, I'm gonna write 1x here and 3x here, and also put 2 boxes When I multiply these numbers in two boxes, they should give me negative 36. And when I multiply 3x with first box, put it here, 1x times second box, and put it here, and add them together, they should give me 3x back. So the first number that comes to my mind is 6 with negative on one side. Then it should give me negative 18x, and positive 6x does not give me 3x back. So let's try something else. I need 3 and 12 maybe, because I want those numbers to be close together so that the addition of those numbers will give me 3. So that's gonna be 9x, 12x. If I have negative 9, it'll definitely give 3x back. So in order for me to have negative 9x, I'll have to have negative 3. And negative 3 times positive 12 does give me negative 36. So it seems like my numbers are complete. Let's group numbers together. First, pink circle gives me x minus 3. Second circle gives me 3x plus 12, and it's equal to 0, meaning either x minus 3 is equal to 0, or 3x plus 12 is equal to 0. And that means my x is equal to either positive 3 or x is equal to negative 4. So those are going to be two solutions to this problem. So I'm going to box it and confirm that as my final answer. All right, let's repeat the same process for the third quadratic equation. Now, without even thinking, I'm going to go ahead and write 1x and 3x along with two boxes underneath the third term. The two boxes, when multiplied together, should give me negative 6. And when I multiply 3x with first box, it should give me a number that when added together, 3x. So let's try. Since it's 6, how about 2 and 3? 2 times 3 with negative here, then it should give me negative 6x and positive 3x. Actually, it's better if we have positive 6x and negative 3x here. So let's change the signs. If we multiply 2x and minus 3x, it does give me negative 6. 6x minus 3x does give me 3x. So these numbers check out. So let's go ahead and circle these two numbers and come up with two binomials. First circle gives me x plus 2, and second circle gives me 3x minus 3. Since those are, when multiplied together, gives me 0, it's either x plus 2 is equal to 0 or 3x minus 3 is equal to 0, meaning my x should equal to negative 2 or x should equal to positive 1. And those are going to be my final answers. So I'm going to box it and move on to our very last problem of the day. Now, at this point, you can just easily, without even thinking, write 1x and 3x along with two boxes underneath the third term. Those two boxes, when multiplied together, should give you positive 72. And when you multiply 3x with the first box, and when you multiply 1x with the second box, those two numbers, when added together, should give you 33x. And that's a positive 33x. So let's try to come up with numbers. Now 72 off the top of my head. 8 times 9 is equal to 72, right? So let's write that. If I do write that in, I get 24x and 9x. We got lucky. We got it right the first time around. Once you get used to figuring out these numbers, you get a better sense of which numbers to put in. So that only comes with practice, so I would advise you to practice with more problems. Now we got lucky this time, so let's go ahead and circle these numbers. The first pink circle gives me x plus 8. Second circle gives me 3x plus 9. And when multiplied together gives me 0, meaning either x plus 8 is equal to 0 or 3x plus 9 is equal to 0. And if x plus 8 is equal to 0, x should be equal to negative 8, or x should be equal to negative 3. And those are my final answers, so I'm gonna box them and gonna be done with this problem. Now I have finished solving all 4 problems with quadratic equations where the coefficient of x squared was equal to 3. Now you do not have to worry about these giant looking x squared, because the first thing you do is to come up with 1x and 3x along with 2 numbers that when multiplied gives you the third variable, and when added together gives you the second term. So by following these steps, you'll be able to solve any problem, any quadratic equation with bigger coefficient by factoring method.